Governor Tambuwal of Sokoto State and that of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki, are asking the federal government not to use federal might in favor of the APC in the coming Edo governorship election. And former Governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, has been again speaking about the reasons Governor Obaseki was screened out by the APC, and also speaking about the reason why he has personally rejected him, and has criticized his efforts in the state and his style of governance. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right here on Politics Today on Channels Television. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Seun Akinbaloye in Lagos. Let's begin with a lot of Nigerians and leaders have been speaking about this man, and President Muhammadu Buhari has also reacted to his death, and that is the late Pa Ayo Fasomi, a leader of the Afenifere who died yesterday at the age of 94. The president said that the efforts of Chief Fasomi in founding and sustenance of Nigeria's democracy will be remembered, and posterity will be glad for his great sacrifices. The pharmacist and the national leader of Afenifere, a Yoruba socio-political organization, Chief Ayo Fasomi, served as a legislator in both House of Representatives and Senate, and was a close ally to the late Yoruba leader Obafemi Awolowo. Pa Fasomi would have clocked 95 on the 27th of September 2020.
It's not a problem at all.
The shooting that has happened this afternoon is between the Nigerian Navy and our police and
No. We did the clearance, me and the sector commander. No Boko Haram inside Baga town.
We remain grateful to all of you. But I think the commitment is not there.
There's no Boko Haram inside the town.
That was the conversation between Governor of Borno State, Babangana Zulum, who confronted some officers of the Nigerian Army over an attack on his convoy in Baga, a town in Kukawa local government area of Borno State. Baga, a fishing town on the shores of the Lake Chad region, had been under the control of the insurgents for many years until the military declared it has liberated. It insisted no Nigerian territory is under the control of Boko Haram. That perhaps explained why the governor decided to attend the reopening ceremony of Mongono Baga Highway to motorists. However, a few kilometers to Baga, gunmen opened fire on the governor and his entourage, despite repeated claims by the military that there is no Boko Haram in the town. The governor was forced to retreat after security operatives on escort duty repelled the attack. A furious Governor Zulum confronted the commanding officer in my form, mincing no words in expressing his disappointment at the inability of the military to rid Baga, an environment of insurgents. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army has been giving its own account of the circumstances surrounding the attack on the Borno State Governor's convoy in Baga. The acting director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sagaro Musa, explains in a statement that the unfortunate incident occurred shortly after the governor and his entourage reported the 19th Brigade at the Nigerian Army Super Camp in Baga, where the governor was said to have been briefed on the security situation in the area. According to the Army spokesperson, details of the attack are still sketchy, while investigation have now commenced to unravel the circumstances that led to the incident and track down the culprits. He explained that the attack was an isolated one occurring in a territory where, according to him, normalcy has since been restored with socio-economic activities picking up. So let's get into the matter for conversation tonight. It's a public holiday, so let's get talking about the Edo politics that we have put our eyes on and try to bring you all the details that are coming in from there. So the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says it will not be intimidated in the Edo governorship election, even with the opposition having the backing of the federal government. After a stakeholders session at a government house in Benin City, the Edo State capital, the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Mr. Aminu Tambuwal, alleges that the federal government in many previous elections had deployed federal agencies in its favor. Take a listen to him.
We should all be very familiar with a situation whereby the federal government will muster security personnel and flood the whole state with a number of security personnel, police, army, SSS, EFCC, to come and intimidate people. That's what I'm talking about, using federal might. And it has happened in this country. Instead of all of these personnel to be mustered and be sent to either northeast or northwest, where we're having very, very perennial and precarious security challenges, we have witnessed situations whereby they are being taken to states where elections are being held in isolated cases, and then they are deployed and used to intimidate voters.
Well, the PDP governorship candidate and the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, says all perpetrators of political violence in the state court will be dealt with.
Even though I'm the chief security officer of the state and I have all state powers, I believe that those powers should be used responsibly and with restraint, particularly in the face of provocations. You have seen and witnessed what the other party has been doing in the state and some of their sponsors. You have seen youths tearing my posters and banners across the state. You have seen vehicles being attacked and their windscreens broken for having my stickers on their cars. All of these are attempts to provoke me, but I'm cognizant of the fact that I'm just not a candidate, but I am the governor, and I shall use the state power, the power which the Constitution has given me, with discretion and moderation. But that does not mean that the state is weak or I'm weak as a governor. It's just that I believe in respecting human rights, and once we apprehend any of those perpetrators, no matter how powerful, no matter how rich they claim to be, I will make sure that the law takes its course.
Well, the opposition party on its own been speaking about the raids, especially one person that has been very eloquent and very loud about some of these issues, the former national chairman of the APC, Adams Oshiomhole, who says he's confident that the court, based on the evidence of certificate forgery tendered before it, will invalidate the nomination of Governor Obaseki to run for another term on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. Comrade Oshiomhole was speaking at a youth rally for the Edo APC governorship candidate in Benin City. Take a listen to him.
If last time we escaped through technicalities, this time PDP already went to court. So that was why the going, GOO has to go, and we deny him. He was screened out by the screening committee made up of eminent lawyers and university administrators. Now you ask, why the PDP took him back? What has changed? They took him to court that he lied on oath and he forged the paper. I can tell you why they did it. They know that Edo is a APC state. And they have been starving. Because you know their philosophy is share the money. I'm sorry you voted for Pastor, not PDP. That's why you are still with him. Now, you have read, even a governor, me I don't know if I mention his name because I know they for talking. He said that the party leadership of people deceiving people became tax collectors. God does not bless forgers. Oluwole in Lagos cannot be the printer or certificate of those who want to govern the state. So now join me in these prayers. Oh Lord, you know, 4 years ago, around this time, there was this guy. He's called Godwin Obaseki. And he called himself Go. Now that year, he thought he represents his initials. But today, Lord, we ask you to give it its proper meaning. G-O means go. Go. So let God help us to see that go goes away.
You heard him there, former governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. Let's get talking. I will be getting reactions about some of the statements made by Mr. Oshiomhole. We'll be speaking with the Deputy Governor of Edo State, who is also the running mate of the PDP governorship candidate. He was billed to appear on the program yesterday, but due to some technical and logistics issues, he couldn't make it on the program. So he joins us now from Benin City. Thank you so much, Comrade Philip Shuaibu, for joining us tonight on the program. Let me get your immediate reaction to your former boss, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, what he said about your principal. You were laughing. What he said about your principal? Your reaction to that, Comrade Shuaibu?
Yeah, actually, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole is not my former boss, but it's my father. So, and I'm ashamed, really, that my father, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, will be fooling himself the way he's doing. I'm really ashamed. I'm really ashamed, because that is not Oshiomhole that I call my father. But I want to apologize to Nigerians that, when there's a certain age you get to, law of diminishing returns setting. I think that is what's affecting my father. But we will take care of him as a good child. We will find a way to get him to where they can check him properly medically so that he can return to the area where he was wearing khaki. Now he's putting on safari. I think he has changed his mentality. But I want to talk about what he said just now. And I want to also agree with him that the proper name of my boss, the governor of Edo State, will be reaffirmed on the 19th of September this year. That is, his name is Godwin. And God will definitely win in this election. So I want to join him to agree that the proper name of my governor will be reaffirmed on the 19th of September. And his name is Godwin. And I also join him when he was prophesying. Those days he was wearing khaki. When he said, nobody can challenge God. And that we must also check the name we give to our children. And he attributed to the fact that God bless my governor's parents for giving him the name Godwin. And that is why God will win. That any man that stands in the way of God, that say God will not win, that God will punish the person. So I want to agree with him that if he, Oshiomhole, do not support that God must win, then the prayer he prayed will follow him. But on issue base, if we must go back to what is happening in Edo State, he's talking about certificate. I don't want to go to history, but if I must go to history, very soon we will know why somebody will be a governor and Minister of Education will be burnt down when tribunal is sitting. We will go back to there. Somebody that does not have a certificate cannot talk about a man that he alluded to the fact and he waived his immunity and he swear to God that this man went to school. Not only that he went to UI, he even went to America and he helped to set up banks. And that without him, it was his brain box, that without him, he would have succeeded for 8 years. The same man now is talking the other way. I think the lesson here is that we should try not to allow the younger ones to hear what Comrade said before and what he's saying now, because we will not be sending a good message to our younger ones, because they will see him as a role model, and that role model is not something we should sell to our children, where you speak from both sides of your mouth. As far as I'm concerned, Edo State is Godwin Obaseki has overwhelming support, because he's not the man that speaks anyhow. He earned the name Wait and See because he believes that work for the people, let the people be the ones speaking for you. And that is what has happened in Edo State. The election that we had today, you can see they are spending money on propaganda. Oshiomhole is not contesting an election. Oshiomhole got to Abuja to be national chairman of APC. From 26 states, they reduced to 18 states. That is not the Oshiomhole that we know. The Oshiomhole that we know was the one that will have the Godwin Obaseki behind him, that is a brain boss, that will have Oge behind him, have the dope people support him to succeed. But the Oshiomhole that we have today is different. So, Shehu, the election of Edo State is already won by my governor. because
right.
the people of Edo State are with him.
Let's take a break quickly, and when we come back, we continue the conversation about the Edo governorship election, the agenda of your party, your manifesto, and what you will be telling the people of Edo State as they plan to go and vote on the 19th of September. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's get back to the conversation with the Deputy Governor of Edo State and the running mate in the on the platform of the PDP, Comrade Philip Shuaib. Thank you so much, Deputy Governor, for your time tonight on the program. Let's get back to the conversation, and perhaps before we start talking about the manifesto and the agenda of your party in going into this election, clear the air, if you can, on the issue of certificate of your principal, which your father, as you called it, Comrade Oshomole, has raised, that the PDP, your party, was the first that raised an issue about the certificate issue.
Yes, it's true. And the candidate of, is he really a candidate? Anyway, that is for future. Pastor Eze raised the issue on that, and that issue was even decided by the court. And the court affirmed that the case was dismissed because actually those credentials were original. And recently, University of Ibadan is just a stone throw. They also affirmed that certificate was not forged and that they are original and they issued those certificates. I think this made distraction. Like I said, I apologize to Nigerians for my father's new attitude, but we'll take care of that. As far as even my certificate is being questioned by the same Adan Oshomole and his cohorts. They have gone to court on my own certificates also. There were also issues of litigation, and the case I won. Even my recent MBA certificate is also court. So they are just trying to distract us, and we are refused to be distracted.
So how would you also react, or what would you say about the performance of the Obaseki administration in Edo State? Do you think it deserves a second term?
Of course, that even a child that understands what is happening in Edo State is supporting my governor. Like I told you, wait and see was given to him by our people. And what is wait and see? The manifesto of the party and what we promised. We said we're going to take governance to the next level. And that next level was to improve. It's interesting to improve on what we achieved under Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole. Because the brain boss was the governor, who was the head of the economic team. I was the majority leader in the House of Assembly that speaks for the executive in the House of Assembly. So our collective work for 8 years, which Comrade also testified to, was what we're going to take to the next level. And what was this next level? Some of these roads that were being constructed to forest areas, we have converted them to an agrarian area now. That was the next level we're preaching about. And the jobs we have created from our agricultural policy is there. The next time we recently 70 jobs as of November last that we have created from that sector. And this was the next level we're talking about. Is it in the area of Edo job or in the area of education? For instance, in education, under Oshomole, which governor was the chairman of the economic team and a majority leader in the House of Assembly, they built red roof. Those red roofs did not translate to what we wanted it to be in terms of educational policy. And those red roofs were just buildings. Now, what makes it a school? We are taking it to another level, making it a digital learning is now in our IDO Best program, where teachers no longer use their hands to write their lesson notes. Lesson notes are now technologically provided. They have tabs, and we're able to monitor teachers, monitor students in their classroom. Our primary one student in their first term can read and write, and that is the content we have put in that now make those buildings a school. And our students can deal with computer at primary school level. Go to our universities. Everything is online. You can write your exam, and in 1 hour your results are ready. That is what we have. That is the next level we're talking about.
All right.
Now, these jobs
just
are
a moment, Deputy Governor, Comrade Shuaib, just a moment. There is a major issue here, which undermines of a lot of people in Edo State, for example. Your principal, the governor, was a candidate of the APC the last time, and this time is a candidate of the PDP. And vice versa is the issue of the PDP the APC candidate now was the candidate of the PDP 4 years ago. On the minds of so many voters in Edo State, how are you able to distinguish what you told them the last time and what you are telling them now? Did you carry the manifesto of the one used or you are still on in the APC to the PDP? Or how are you taking the philosophy of the party? Is everything mixed up? Or how are you able to distinguish these issues?
Yeah, actually nothing is mixed up. Don't forget that the individual matters even when the party has its manifesto. And interestingly, when I look at the manifesto of PDP, it's power to the people. And while we were in APC, what was our slogan? Let the people lead. And we said we are returning power to the people. And now we're back to a party that also believes in the people. And what do the people want? Nobody wants to be a beggar. What the people want is for government to create an enabling environment for them to be able to do their businesses, provide security, get the infrastructure in place, and open up the economy. And that, on the basis of that we voted for Governor Obaseki in the first step. And as it performed, yes. What did we promise? We said we're going to create 200,000 jobs. Have we performed? Yes. Did we create a sector that was dealing with it? Yes. Where are we? And that is where the question. And I know people know.
Comrade, in the 300,000 jobs promised by your party at the time, how many of those have you created?
As of today, I can vividly tell you that we have surpassed the 200,000 jobs, because I just told you, just a business day on its own, not even from our own data, on its own chart, by November last year, they have it on record that on their own check, we've created 176,000 jobs. It was published, widely published. And by our own calculation, as at that time, we have created 196,000 jobs.
All right. So Deputy Governor, we need to wind. We need to close the program now. But in 30 seconds, if you can tell viewers, those who are watching you right now, your governor and the governor of Sokoto State have expressed fear about the use of the federal might. Is that really very apparent on the ground in 30 seconds? Is there a fair play on the ground?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I believe that, like Oshomole said, there are no federal might, but local might and might. And I can assure you that our people are ready. They want to intimidate, they want to harass, because they know they are losing the election. But I can tell you that we have, just like the governor has said, we have told our people to be peaceful. And I want to rely on Comrade's philosophy that we must vote and defend our vote. And we must stand by one man, one vote. One Oshomole, one vote. One Obaseki, one vote. One Philip Shaibu, one vote. That principle is what we are going to stand on. And we are going to defend our vote. We are not weakling. We don't look for trouble, but when trouble comes, we don't run.
All right.
But as far as this election is concerned, our people have made up their mind that Obaseki will return. And by the grace of God, I can assure you, Shehu, we will be very peaceful. I will not be intimidated, and we will win the election by the grace of God.
Thank you so much, Deputy Governor of Edo State and the running mates of the PDP in the governorship election in Edo State. Thank you so much, Mr. Philip Shuaib, for talking to us tonight. But that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.